What's up, everybody? Welcome to All Soccer All Day. It's your boy Stevie Mack out here in Chicago. With me, as always, Eric D in Los Angeles. What's up, man?
¿Qué pasa, calabaza?
Dude.
What's happening? Squash?
Yeah. Like, what's with the squash?
Yeah.
What's happening, squash?
Yeah.
Well, as you know, we have a lot going on in the world of football.
Like
as
always.
always. Yep, exactly. So the Premier League, we have MLS soccer, of course, going on. We have Euro qualifiers going on. We have World Cup qualifying going on. We have CONCACAF Nations League. We have the friendlies going on. It's international break. There's so much stuff to go down.
International footy. Hey, real quick, what's your feeling on international break? You like it? Hate it?
Well, let me just say this. Since United States is doing friendlies as opposed to being in like an actual competition like the CONCACAF Nations League, it doesn't mean as much to me. Except for the fact, of course, we played Mexico, so it's always... I mean...
Are we going to get into this right now?
No, we're not, but you just asked me a question, so I'm answering it.
I know.
I'll just say this. It'd mean a lot more to me if the United States was in something that mattered right now.
Yeah, no, I get you. I think everybody's ready for the Premier League to come back and around, and the MLS is in the home stretch for the playoffs. So some people don't. Some people hate international breaks.
Oh, dude, yeah, for sure. People hate it for sure. But we'll get into that. Anyways, before we get started, as always, we would like to thank you, our patrons. Thank you so much. If you support us on Patreon, we love you so much. You're amazing. You help us do this. If you want to hook us up and help us out, then check us out on patreon.com/allsoccerallday. It's always wonderful for people that want to hook us up and help us out with doing this.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. Secondly, if you want to help us in a different way, you can always leave us a 5-star rating anywhere that you're listening to us. So iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, whatever, wherever, Stitcher, all that stuff. If you're on YouTube, then give us a like, subscribe, turn on those notifications, all that crazy YouTube stuff that everyone says, But overall, man, like, we have a few things to get into here, and before we get into the English Premier League, our number one thing that we love to talk about, do you have any news and notes? I don't know. Anything that you want to mention other than just diving right in?
I think Neymar played in a friendly last night against Peru here in Los Angeles, and Peru walked away with a 1-0 victory, and yeah.
Didn't he play in...
good.
I'm pretty sure, though, that he played in a friendly a couple days ago, and he scored in that one, though, right?
I do not know. All I know is I saw Neymar walking around, and he looked kind of fat.
Oh,
so
shit.
I don't know. I don't want, I don't
the hater. I saw something. Something though on social media, that was talking about how the coach was saying that no one should sleep on Neymar, though. Like, he's fit and he's doing well. So
hey, nobody is guessing or second guessing or doubting the talent the man's got. It's just like, can you put it together and be a true professional 100% of the time, like Messi and Ronaldo? That's
This is a valid question. I will say he's still the third highest rated player in FIFA. FIFA 20 ratings just came out. This means absolutely nothing, and I'm just totally talking shit right now, but it's just kind of funny more than anything that right now Neymar's at 92. And anyway, okay. So before we get into English Premier League, all I want to say is this next section is brought to you by Diversity Wine. Thank you guys very much. This is our sponsor over here in Chicago. Diversity Wine was opened by Bradford Taylor, Mac Parsons, and Anne-Marie Myers in May 2018. It is a sister shop to the Ordinaire in Oakland and Psychic Wines in Los Angeles. So these wine companies are super awesome because what they do is they specialize in natural wines. And that just means that they're not made by a bunch of machines. It's actually real humans organically grown grapes and all this stuff. So I mean, it's what you want when it comes to supporting smaller businesses, local business, also like pure wine. So check them out, diversitywine.com here here in Chicago, sorry, and Ordinary in Oakland, and Psychic Wines in Los Angeles.
Yes, in the Silver Lake area, to be more specific, in Los
Guaranteed.
Angeles.
They have a wine club also. Check out the wine club. It's good stuff. So getting into the English Premier League here, man, Eric D, we've been on a week off because of the international break, and so let's just fill everybody in right now. At the top of the tables, we have Liverpool with 12 points, followed closely by Manchester City with 10 points. We have Leicester in third place with 8.
What?
Yeah, that's right. And then we have a four-way tie with 7 points. Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Everton, and West Ham United. Yeah, I know. No Manchester United up there, no Tottenham up there, no Chelsea up there. They're having rough starts right now. Obviously, we're only 4 games in, so it's a long season. But I mean, Eric D, your initial thoughts right now? It's international break. We're coming back to it. When I read off these tables and you see Liverpool and Manchester City up at top, and then you see everyone else kind of scrambling for position after that, what are your initial thoughts?
Well, it's definitely, like you said, it's not an easy early going for Chelsea, Man U, Tottenham, some of the, the bigger clubs contending for those top spots, top 4. Watford sacked their manager.
Mm-hmm.
But they at least got off the schneid and have a point, but they're all the way at the bottom. Leicester being up there in third, Crystal Palace at fourth, that's kind of surprising for sure. Crystal Palace, no doubt. But yeah, it's just not good enough from Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, and Manchester United. It's just not.
Yeah, absolutely. Arsenal at the top of those last teams that you mentioned, Arsenal, Manchester United, Tottenham, and Chelsea, with 7 points. I mean, the whole situation is seeming a little bit dim for a lot of these clubs that you would think would be doing so much better. Manchester United, of course, being one of the teams that everyone's looking at anyways because of Ollie and the coaching situation. But you have them coming up against Leicester this weekend. And I think that's actually a pretty interesting game. Leicester being in third place right now with 8 points, 2 wins, 2 draws, undefeated so far. They're taking on Manchester United, 1 win, 2 draws, and of course they dropped one also. I don't know, man. Your initial thoughts. How do you see this going?
Must win for Manchester United. They're at home. It's not been going well early on, and it's, if you're Manchester United, we've talked about this before. The prestige that goes with this club, as big as you are, all the accolades, all the titles, everything. I mean, you've got to be competing for the title year in, year out. You've got to be in the top 4 spots. I mean, Manchester United is in real jeopardy of making top 4, and in my eyes, and that's going to be a disaster.
No doubt. I think that Manchester United is right now. I've been seeing so much on social media about people talking about how the truth is Manchester United right now is just not very good.
No.
And it's a difficult pill to swallow, especially as a United fan, if you are out there and you're sitting there looking at your team with all these names and all these, I mean, like, what's going on, right?
Probably the worst Premier League team Manchester United's had since the inception of the league.
Dang.
Probably. I mean, this is the worst Manchester United team I've seen and I can remember.
And no doubt, I mean, it's one of those situations where it's like baffling in a way, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch these guys.
Manchester United.
Dude, it's more than that even, man, because almost every one of the players that is starting for Manchester United, these are players that are up on the international stage as well. These are top players in their respective countries. These are guys that are supposed to be producing numbers, that are supposed to be able to play with the best of them. And you find yourself like clawing your way into games, if not barely escaping with points at this point. So I don't know, man. It's well, let me just give you this, okay? They're at home. Leicester, Manchester United. I'm gonna pop it on you early. What's your score line right there? I'm just gonna throw it out.
I think Leicester's good for a goal here, so I'm gonna say Manchester United 2-1.
2-1 at home, Manchester United. You're saying they're actually going to pull it together and come away with a victory, but it feels sketchy, right?
It does. It really does.
Like,
yeah,
like you say that, and then you kind of like want to take it back right away. And in fact, I'm going to actually just say it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I'm going to say they're going to draw, and that's a terrible loss of points for Manchester United. It would actually be, unfortunately, unsurprising though. Like the way, like, we're talking to each other. I can see you on this video chat. And as soon as I'm like, yeah, 1-1, you shrug your shoulders and you're just like, yeah, obviously, like that could totally happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, because it's already happened. I mean, it's you and I had Man U beating Southampton last week 2-0.
Correct.
And they drew 1-1. I mean, it's Southampton. So yeah, Leicester's a much.
Yeah, Leicester's definitely a better team, and man, I don't know. I don't know where Manchester United goes from there. Like, it's one of those situations that's kind of weird where it's like, do you think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is gonna make it to Christmas? Do you think he makes it to Christmas, dude?
Ooh, I don't know, man. I want to say he does, but I don't know, man. It's this.
I mean, are all the red flags going up too soon?
Well, I mean, I'm from a Manchester United supporter's perspective. It's got to be a horrible time to be supporting this. I mean, Manchester City, your city rival, and Liverpool, your most hated rival, are the top two teams in the league right now. Correct. Like, it can't be a worse time for Manchester United supporter.
It's so bad. I mean, and let's just say that right now there isn't any immediate like light at the hope. Like, there's no hope right now either. I mean, it's really, Ollie right now is so hard under the microscope, and I don't know where that's going to lead. But I tend to think that I'm going to go with the fact that he will have his job still during Christmas. I think they're going to give him, at least half the season, right?
Well, I mean, I'll pose this question to you. If they were to sack Gunny, where would they go?
Exactly.
Who would they appoint?
Well, and that's actually exactly what I'm leaning on, is the fact that they have nowhere to go from there anyway. I think that if people are going to be really honest with themselves, they have to say that Manchester United is in a rebuilding stage. I mean,
it's crazy for a club like Manchester United, because usually big clubs don't build.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They reload, they don't rebuild, and it feels like that rebuilding where it's like they're having to figure out something totally different. The people coming up through the system are not doing, I guess, what they need them to do. I have no idea. And at the same time, they're not being able to sign the people that are going to make huge impacts. People are asking to leave. I mean, I don't know. Crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Pogba wants to get out of Dodge.
Manchester. Clearly. According to all the reports that we see, reports we see, man, for sure. So Tottenham taking on Crystal Palace this weekend. They just came off the draw against Arsenal, and before that, they had the loss to Newcastle. I mean, how do you see this? In recent weeks, I've been saying that I thought that Tottenham had one of the better situations when it comes to their coaching and their staff and their roster, and it doesn't seem like it's really turning out that way. They're struggling to find any sort of points, any sort of wins. What are your thoughts right now on Tottenham? How do you think they're going to do against Crystal Palace?
First of all, I called that match against Arsenal. Arsenal-Tottenham 2-2.
Oh,
so thank you there. Thank
Oh
you.
yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
points,
Thank you.
points.
Thank you. I mean, also very exciting game.
It
Definitely what you
was.
want out of a derby game.
It was.
I mean, Tottenham, like Arsenal, like Chelsea, it's been all a little underwhelming because you kind of feel like they needed a shoot out of the gates to hang with Liverpool and Manchester City, and like I said, it's been more of the same. Like Manchester City and Liverpool haven't lost a beat, and the other clubs just stumble. They just like, oh, we were gonna like they should have known going into this season like Liverpool and Manchester City are the aim. We've got to hang with them, and then they still can't do it because they just
It's
that
just
little
not
bit
happening.
of quality is lacking. So
It also seems to be like there's so much drama in these other clubs. I mean, if you take, for instance, obviously with Arsenal, you have this drama going on behind the scenes regarding the players that are assaulted. These things are like outside the locker room, but
the
what I'm
Ozil
saying
thing,
is like, yeah, the Ozil thing, like it just like throws a fucking weird wrench in it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like it's just odd.
definitely.
Okay, so then with Tottenham, you have this Christian Eriksen thing where he seems not to really want to be around, I guess is what reports are. I don't know. It seems kind of odd, but there seems to be like a little bit of drama going on there. With Chelsea, you have this David Luiz thing with him freaking out and leaving and going over to Arsenal, the rival over there, and everything like that. There's all this weird drama right here. But the two teams right now that are at the top with Liverpool and Manchester City, I mean, yeah, it's
They're
all
locked
love.
down.
It's
Yeah,
all
they're
love.
it's all love. They're locked down. They're focused. They have two managers at each club that are just like on the top of their game.
Yeah.
Squad is deep. Yeah, everyone's focused. I mean, it's just it right now. It more than ever looks like Man City and Liverpool's league, and everybody else is just making up the numbers. Um, yeah, I don't know what to say about Tottenham. I would have said, I think a game like against Crystal Palace at home, as I believe they are, yeah, it would be a lock. But I don't know anymore. I mean, I could see Tottenham possibly losing this match or draw. I would want to say it's going to be an easy win for Tottenham, but I don't think that's the case anymore.
Man, that's crazy, dude. To even like Tottenham's at home, they're taking on Crystal Palace, and as you just said, last year this would have been like a lock. Like you're just like joking about it. Like why are we even
Yeah,
talking about this, right?
exactly.
And you're correct. This weekend, it's kind of like I actually don't know. It's got to be disheartening if you're a Tottenham supporter. It's got to be worrisome at any point in time with all these teams. Like it's almost like where do you point the finger? What do you say? How do you go about like dealing with something like that? And I just don't even know, man. Like some of these other teams have excuses, but with Tottenham, it just seems like this shouldn't be happening.
No, I agree. I would think this is Tottenham's time to kind of get up there and compete with the Liverpools and the Man Cities. I mean, they were in the Champions League final, but
Hmm.
they're stumbling just like Chelsea, Arsenal, and Manchester United. Maybe not as hard, but
Right.
you know, these
But
points
definitely.
lost now, these points dropped right now, they usually will come back to bite you later.
Definitely. So speaking of another top six team, usually that we're talking about, Chelsea is on the road. They're playing against Wolves. I mean, Wolves are no joke either, man. I don't know, man. It's weird because because Wolves right now they have three draws and a loss in their last four games. But like it almost feels like it shouldn't be that way. It feels like Wolves are still gonna give a fight to Chelsea.
Oh yeah, no
Um,
doubt.
with Chelsea on the road, I mean, how do you think this one's going to end up? Do you think Wolves pull a result out of here? Do you think finally Pulisic might do something? Do you even think he gets a start? Like, how do you think Christian Pulisic is doing right now? I mean, do you think that he's going to be someone that's going to be on the bench here soon?
I hope not. I mean, when I watch, I feel like his movements are good. He's active. I feel like he's doing a lot of things that might go unnoticed or not show up in the box score, as they say. But um, yeah, I want to say he's going to start. I think he's dynamic enough that where Chelsea needs him. I mean, he's opening up play for them. I like Wolves. and I want to
I
say
know.
that they can win at home here. It's you doubt these big clubs because they're stumbling, and then watch you pick the other side and they come through. But
Yep.
you feel like Chelsea's due, like they've got to
Yeah, I'd agree.
break this through. But I mean, we both picked Chelsea to beat Sheffield United, and they drew Sheffield United, who is quickly becoming one of the surprises of this season.
Yeah, they're
Early
almost
on.
like Wolves of last
Wolves
year.
of last season, exactly. And I don't know, it's gonna be a tough match. I I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea lost. Um, but then again, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they won. I know that this seems like a cop out, but yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
don't.
call it. I'm gonna say 2-1 Chelsea. I think Chelsea does come away with the victory and do it.
I'm gonna be Switzerland here and do 1-1.
Oh,
Chelsea 1-1.
dang. Okay, on the road. No faith. All right. We'll see how it goes. That's cool. That's cool. All right. Very good, man. Well, okay, let's take a look at the top two teams, of course, Liverpool and Manchester City. It would seem like both games that they have going on should be ones in the bag, but at the same time, you just never know in the Premier League. So, Manchester City on the road against Norwich. Norwich has been kind of another surprising. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
not like it's
Pookie's
not
been
like
good.
I don't expect them to necessarily go far, super far, but right now it seems like Norwich is a team that you don't want to just sit back and gloss over. You don't want to just look past them. It seems like they definitely are on a pace to be able to score some goals. I don't know, man. What do you think? Norwich, Manchester City. It seems like City should just destroy them, though, right?
Yeah, no, it really does. I mean, Norwich is newly promoted. They were champions of the championship, but I mean, they're going up against Manchester City, champions of the Premier League, one of the best clubs in the world.
Yep.
I just don't see it. So I'll just be conservative and go with a 3-0 victory to Man City.
All right, I'm gonna be hopeful and just say that Timo Pukki scores one, but I'm gonna call it 4-1
Yeah.
Manchester City. I just think the City again is just gonna roll over them.
Yeah, you don't see. I mean, you and I, we picked Manchester City to win against Brighton. I had 5-0. You had 4-0. You were correct. I mean, it's kind of, I guess to a certain degree, it is kind of boring because I don't know, like Manchester City and Liverpool right now are just not getting upset. They're not getting upset.
Dude, I called 4-0 and I was right. Like
Yes, it's
that's not
insane.
cool.
It's not cool because there's right now in the first time that I can remember, there's no competition in the Premier League, at least when it
Right.
comes to the top two.
I know.
Liverpool and Man City are just running through all contenders right now, and Man City looks, honestly, by the eyeball test, Man City is that much better than Liverpool right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you when you look at it and you just say, if I'm just going to just judge, I'm going to watch these games, I'm going to see how they're playing. It does seem like Manchester City has that confident little like one step up.
Oh
Where it
yeah,
seems like Liverpool is just like they're there, but again, kind of a repeat of last year where it's like you would just almost place that extra dollar on Manchester City just cuz, right?
exactly. Because I mean, as we'll get into Liverpool right now, is that they beat Burnley 3-0, but Manchester City beats Brighton 4-0. They're just like
Right.
they just they're always
It's
topping them.
always just that one little step up. So, okay, Liverpool, they're at home. Newcastle United on the road. I mean, I got to say 4-0. I'm going to say 4-0.
Whoa. Uh, I
I
don't
know.
know.
I'm just throwing
It's
it out there, man. I think I'm hoping I'm I don't know, man. I just think that
yeah,
Liverpool hopefully is going to
yeah,
turn around and blow it out, man.
yeah. I could. I'll go one below you this time. I'll do 3-0 to the pool.
Okay.
It's it's crazy when you're sitting here thinking like Okay, it's not even about victories or losses or draws now. It's like about, okay, Manchester City's going to get the victory, Liverpool's probably going to get the victory. Who's
Who's
going to
gonna win more?
who's going to no,
Really?
but well, who's going to win on the goal differential battle, basically. And it's insane to think
That's
about.
messed up.
That's what you're thinking about.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Liverpool, Newcastle. We have Brighton and Hove Albion hosting Burnley. Um, Manchester United at home against Leicester. Sheffield United. Let's talk a little bit about Sheffield. Let's talk about the fact they're at home against Southampton. I mean, it would seem like Sheffield United's due for another victory. I mean, does this
Yeah.
seem inspired? Do you think that they're going to be middle of the pack? Do you think that they're going to falter?
I like their early start, their good start here. I want to say they could
They
possibly
seem
get.
confident.
Yeah, they're riding a wave of momentum, and I want to say they're going to get mid-table. Yeah, this would definitely be a good place to get another W. Get those 3 points at home in front of that crowd against Southampton. Definitely, they're there for the taking.
Yeah, I'm there with you. I'm going to say 2-1 Sheffield.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. 2-1, 2-1 Sheffield United.
2-1. Done deal, done deal. I'm sorry, I missed this. Did you call the points on Spurs Crystal Palace?
Spurs Crystal Palace. Did I? I don't know if I
I don't
did.
think we talked about
I
scoreline.
I don't think we did. I'll take Tottenham. Oh man, I'll take Tottenham. I'll take Tottenham to no. I'll take Tottenham 1-0.
1-0. I'm gonna say 2-0 Tottenham.
Yeah.
2-0.
All right.
Yeah. You writing these down, right?
No,
You got
actually, I'm
to?
not.
Oh dang, man. Dang, I gotta get on that. Okay,
I
Wolves
thought you had the
hosting
pit.
Chelsea. I got it. I got it. All right, Wolves hosting Chelsea. What do you got?
Wolves hosting Chelsea. Didn't I? I took Chelsea.
Yeah, you did.
Uh,
See, this is why we gotta write this down. Dang.
or did I call this draw? Now we're looking like fools. Um, no, I called this. I think I called this a 1-1 draw, if I remember
Gotcha.
correctly. Yeah.
All right. Bournemouth Everton. That one's awkward. Bournemouth
Or-
Everton's weird, man. I don't know.
yeah, that's really a coin flip. I mean, part of me would take Bournemouth to win that match over Everton just because on the day
Yep.
these
They're at
these
home.
these are like the filler tracks on an album. Like
I
I feel
feel
like
you.
I feel like Bournemouth and Everton are just making up the numbers. Really, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the supporters of Bournemouth and Everton, but that's just kind of how it is.
That is how it feels. Watford hosting Arsenal. Good luck there, Watford. Man, I'll tell you what. When it comes down to it, getting into the next week, um, again, it just feels like Liverpool, Manchester City is going to be up top. It seems like everyone's going to do a little bit of a shuffle underneath. You're gonna watch the Arsenal teams. You're gonna watch the Manchester United, Tottenham, Chelsea. You're gonna like keep an eye on all that kind of stuff. But truthfully, again, it does feel Liverpool and Manchester City. I mean, do you see this changing at all? I mean, that's it, right?
No, I honestly don't because the fact that they picked up right where they left off from last season, like I don't know how many games it is now. I mean, it's like got to be 40 something where Liverpool their only loss was to Manchester City
Yeah.
and everything else has either been a draw or a victory. I mean, that's a crazy streak that I can't remember last time Liverpool ever had anything like that. And Manchester City's kind of on the same tear. I mean, it's insane, and I just don't see any end in sight right now. I don't. And the only thing I feel like that could derail these squads would be injuries, like just injuries to key players. And
Well, you have Aymeric Laporte just getting injured on the back line of Manchester City, and there's a lot of things that are like kind of saying like just because of one injury like that, could that give Liverpool the advantage?
Well,
I mean,
but Liverpool's dealing with their own injury
of
issue right
course,
now with Allison being out. So I mean, Adrian hasn't been super confident. So
right?
have your confidence in that guy. So there's that. But yeah,
Well,
I think it's injuries really.
well, we will see where it goes. Moving on, we're going to get into the UEFA Champions League and just talk about the groups really quickly. Last episode, the groups were being drawn that very same day this was released. Matchday 1 has, of course, not yet happened, and we're just going to briefly talk about the groups, say who we think is going to come out of those groups. Unfortunately, it looks like everything's pretty straightforward in a lot of ways. There's only a couple groups. There might be some questions, but let's talk about it. So, Group A, Club Brugge, Galatasaray, PSG, Real Madrid.
PSG and Real Madrid to come out of the group. I think that's. I mean,
Like,
I'm
there's
sorry.
no brainer.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. I'm sorry, Galatasaray and Club Brugge. Thanks for playing, but just like with Everton and Bournemouth, they're just there to make up the numbers. I mean, if PSG or Real Madrid were to somehow not get out of their group, it would be a total failure, especially for Real Madrid.
Yeah,
PSG
no
doesn't have
kidding.
expectation, but still.
Dude, have you seen where FIFA's club rankings right now, Real Madrid is number 1?
No, I did not see that.
Yeah, on FIFA club rankings right now, Real Madrid is number 1 in the world.
That doesn't seem to be right, but
Everything seems to be super weird. If you haven't seen those, I highly recommend checking those out. Look those up real quick. The FIFA club rankings are it's so weird. So weird. Like Arsenal is above Chelsea by a lot. Liverpool's like middle of the pack. It's weird. Anyway, okay, Group B, Bayern Munich. And by the way, if I mispronounce any of these, I am so sorry. I'm doing my best. Okay. Uh, we have Olympiacos, Tottenham, and here's the one I'm totally gonna mess up. Crvena Zvezda.
oh yeah,
Zvezda.
yeah. I mean,
Obviously, Bayern and Tottenham are coming out.
yeah, right, exactly. It's like Group
Right.
A. And if one of those clubs was a falter, it'd be a disaster. Like it'd just be a shocking upset. So yeah, I think that's pretty straightforward. So we move to Group C, and I mean,
Dude, why? Like, Group C is so ridiculous. Atalanta, Dinamo, Manchester City, and Shakhtar Donetsk. Manchester City's in there with a bunch of scrubs, bro. I'm sorry, all you people out there, but
I expect Manchester City to get max points from this group. I'm saying it now.
dude, I'm almost like, what's their goal differential gonna be? Like plus 20?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess one of those clubs is going to have to come out of there. Second,
Shakhtar.
so,
I'd say Shakhtar or Atalanta.
Shakhtar? I would say
I mean,
Atalanta.
Atalanta, maybe, yeah. I mean,
Serie A, better
yeah,
better league than
I would agree.
the I think it's the Turkish league.
Yeah,
and
Turkish league, Shakhtar Donetsk.
I don't know what Dynamo's from. Is it the Czech? Where are they from? Croatia. Okay. Croatian team, yeah. So.
Group D.
Oh, sorry. Shakhtar Donetsk is Ukrainian.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Our bad.
Yeah, not Turkish. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
So
it's like there's nothing to say. We're like, oh.
Yeah, there really isn't. I mean, one of those clubs is going to come out of there just by default. I mean,
okay.
So.
All right. How about this next group? Atletico Madrid, Bayer Leverkusen, Lokomotiv, and Juve.
I mean, there was a time when Bayern Leverkusen was a really,
Correct. They did. Yeah, but
those times are not really
Atleti
now.
and Juve, that's
yeah, exactly. This is kind of like, you expect Juve is going to take top of the group. It might not dominate like Manchester City in their group, but yeah, Juve and Atletico Madrid, I don't see.
They're not. They're coming out of there. Genk, Liverpool, Napoli, and Red Bull Leipzig. It would seem like Liverpool and Napoli should easily be coming out of this group.
No, that's Salzburg.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Salzburg.
Yes,
from Austria.
Salzburg, Austrian. Liverpool and Napoli, man, like for sure.
Yeah, hey, as I announced, I mean, Red Bull have got 2 clubs in UEFA Champions League.
Yes, they do, and that's why I thought they were Red
Yeah.
Bull, like say, because that's the German club that's in
So,
there a little bit later.
so yeah, Liverpool, Napoli. I mean,
Yeah, hands down. Okay, so this is, apparently the group of death, as everyone says.
yes.
Um, Group F: Barcelona, Dortmund, Inter Milan, and Slavia Praha. And obviously, everyone's seen by now on social media the reaction of I think he was the president of the club of Slavia Praha, or I'm not sure.
Is it Praha or is it Prague? Huh?
Praha.
Praha. Okay.
Yeah. Um, he was
Pretty good
laughing.
on your Czech there.
Well, on some of them, man. I mean, some of them I'm good with, some of them not. But I mean, either way, they're drawn into a group with Barcelona, Dortmund, and Inter Milan. Um, it was pretty funny. Dude just was laughing. Like he knew it was just like hilarious. But at the same time, like how great is it that all of these teams are going to have to visit and they're going to be playing in Prague, I mean, it is Prague, but the club's pronounced Slavia Praha. Um,
Yes.
so I mean, it's pretty exciting, for everyone in Prague that's going to get to see the start
Yeah,
Milan, Dortmund, Barcelona, right?
exactly. Get to see clubs and players that they normally would never get to see. And I'm sure for a lot of clubs in this competition, that's definitely what it's all about. Um, I mean, okay, I don't think there's any doubt Barcelona is going through.
Hmm.
It's
I
really,
mean, Dortmund, Inter.
I feel like it's a toss up. Um, I want to say Borussia Dortmund just off the strength of the Bundesliga over Serie A. Inter Milan is a good club. I mean, they're a big club, historically big club, but
It
I think
doesn't seem like they. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna say Dortmund's gonna come out of there too. But I will say though, obviously, since this is the quote group of death, they are. This is easily the group where Inter Milan could definitely come out of this instead of Dortmund.
who is the striker that used to be on Inter Milan? That just went to PSG. We forgot to bring this up in our news and
Oh, Mauro Icardi.
yeah,
Mauro
yeah.
Icardi, yeah.
So he went to PSG, so that definitely helps bolster them and take a little way
Yeah, well,
better.
and then Inter Milan, of course, came away with Romelu Lukaku and also Alexis Sanchez, homie. What you gonna do about that?
Did that actually go through?
As far as I know, I mean, we last time we talked about it, yes.
Yeah. Is that what's happening here?
You check that out and
Uh, he,
confirm.
he his first top the top headline is Alexis Sanchez given huge FIFA 20 rating drop after poor Manchester United season.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Oh man,
Let's
I
get into the next group here, just
yeah.
as you look that up. Benfica, Lyon, RB Leipzig, so Red Bull Leipzig, and Zenit or Zenit. This one's kind of like the low end of the spectrum, I guess you could say. It clearly seems like Lyon and Leipzig, in my opinion, either Leipzig or Benfica. I mean, like both of those teams are it's like a little coin flip right there.
Uh, yeah, it looks like Alexis Sanchez is with Inter Milan if
Yeah.
the interwebs are to be believed. Um, yeah, I haven't been following Lyon. Honestly, that with Ligue 1, the French league is just it's just PSG really.
Yeah, I know.
Red Bull Leipzig has been pretty good. And Benfica's a big Portuguese club, so you can't sleep on them either. I feel
Yep.
it's really a toss up between those three, and I could see Red Bull Leipzig going through, and Benfica could easily get through. I'll take Benfica. So
Okay.
I'll take Benfica.
I'm gonna take Leipzig just to have fun with it. Group H, Ajax, Chelsea, Lille, and Valencia. This one's actually pretty interesting because of Ajax, Valencia, Chelsea. Lille unfortunately is probably on the outs there, but Valencia, no doubt, good Spanish club. Ajax, obviously, we saw what they did last year. Chelsea, strong English side. We would expect them to advance from the group just based on the name. But man, Valencia Ajax, I have a feeling like either one of them could have an upset. But I'm going to call Chelsea and Ajax and just, play it safe.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement with you. That would seem like the smart play.
Very good, very good. All right. Well, anything else you want to get into with the Champions League before we move on to the
That all
MLS?
gets started on September 17th.
September 17th. What's the first game? Isn't it Liverpool? Isn't Liverpool the first game?
Liverpool is at Napoli. It says 12 noon here on mine. So, I mean, they're all the
Oh
games are
no,
all.
the first games are Inter and Slavia Praha and Lyon and Zenit. Let's see, Red Bull, Chelsea, Valencia. Let's see, Ajax, Lille. Yeah, Napoli, Liverpool. Napoli, Liverpool, man.
Yeah.
That's gonna be it. Well, and also Dortmund, Barcelona.
Oh
That's
yes.
match day one. So Dortmund, Barcelona, Napoli, Liverpool. Those are going to be
Woo!
like the two main games, baby. That sounds fun. Let's see. Also on the 18th. Oh, dude, bro. On the 18th, you got PSG, Real Madrid right off the bat, and you also
Mm.
have Atletico Madrid versus Juve right off the bat, bro. Woo!
Yes, gonna be
Champions
good.
League, baby. Champions
Coming back.
League.
Those European
Oh,
nights.
dude. I'm excited about that. Okay, man. Um, Very good. Let's move on. MLS. What's up?
MLS.
That's right. We're going to briefly go over the standings here. We're going to talk about some of the games coming up and so forth. Um, right now in the Eastern Conference, NYCFC is up top with 54 points. They've kind of slowly creeped up, pulled it out. They've secured themselves a playoff spot alongside the Philadelphia Union with 51 points in second place. Atlanta United with 48 points, and Toronto FC has gone all the way up to fourth
All the
place.
way up.
Dang. Shout out to Sean Rubio. What's up? Um, DC
Yeah.
United 42 points in fifth place, right behind Toronto FC. New York Red Bulls 41 points, New England Revolution 39. Montreal Impact's right on that line, but I mean, Atlanta United right now. Uh, it's interesting to see how it looked like they were going to be right up top. They were going to be challenging for that number one um, spot up there, and now out of nowhere, it seems like NYCFC is making a name for themselves, man.
Yeah. The East has been kind of unpredictable, to be honest with you. I mean,
Right.
early in the season, I thought Atlanta might do a nosedive, and somehow Frank De Boer has kept that team together and going. So them being in third place at this junction of the season, I mean, I know they have a lot of talent, but it just didn't seem like it was clicking. So it's worked out. They're in third. Philadelphia Union, kind of the surprise of the season, to a certain degree for me.
Yep. No,
Um,
I would agree with you. I think that Philadelphia Union holding their spot up top almost the entire season has been absolutely amazing for them. And yeah, like you said, totally underrated. I mean, we definitely didn't see that one coming.
no. Yeah, I mean, and then you have, Toronto's there, DC United, New York Red Bulls, New England Revolution. I mean, Bruce Arenas pulled them up there.
Yep, gotten all the way back into the playoff contention. Definitely the East has so much more parity in so many
Yes,
ways. Like that could
definitely.
just get flipped on its head at any moment in time. So we'll see where that ends up. In the Western Conference, as we all know, LAFC 63 points. Ugh. Um, yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about that. Obviously, they have their number one spot. I'm waiting for them to be crowned,
Shield winners.
yeah, Shield winners
Yeah.
anytime now. Real Salt Lake and Seattle Sounders with 46 points each, respectively. Minnesota United 45, San Jose Earthquakes 44, Portland Timbers and FC Dallas 43, and just tonight dropping out of the playoff picture, LA Galaxy with 42 points are now in eighth place.
How you feel about that?
It's really a sore spot right now. I just got done watching the Colorado Rapids, LA Galaxy, and it was really, really upsetting.
Okay, full disclosure, I wasn't able to watch it. So it seems like it was more hot garbage from the G's. But
Gio is so bad.
what
He
did
is so bad.
what did Pavone do to get sent off?
Well, he got sent off and then he got unsent off.
Oh, it's one of those
Yeah,
situations.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So the ball was down in the corner. The Rapids were running off time at the end because they were winning 2-1. All
Yeah,
the goals happened in a span of like 5 minutes.
yeah.
It was like the Rapids scored, then immediately LA came back. Then there was this whack penalty, and then all of a sudden um, they're running down the time, and Pavone went around, went to kick for the ball, and while he was getting kicked, actually he got pushed by one of the Rapids players. And while he was falling, because of the momentum that he was being pushed, his leg, it looked like he kicked like really hard at the shins of the Colorado Rapid player Shinashiki. And then Shinashiki, the Brazilian player, falls down on the ground and rolls around and does his best Neymar.
Yeah, of course.
And he gets his red card. I'm sorry, Pavone gets a red card. They go back and review it, and then the ref comes back on and like gives him a yellow card. In truth, like when you watch the replay, it's like maybe shouldn't it even have been a foul, like at all, almost.
It's
Like,
interesting that he rescinds the red card but gives him
yeah,
the yellow.
yeah. Well, I was watching this with my buddy Alex, and we were like, he's got to give him a yellow because he can't go from like straight red, gah, into like, you know what? Never mind. It's
Yellow.
cool.
It's cool. I mean, it was bad, but it ain't that bad, right? So here's a yellow for
It
you.
was actually pretty whack. Like he was just falling down basically. Like he was kicking and then falling, and then his leg like flew up. But anyway.
This is what I'll say about the G's. They have been up and down all season. They
Yep.
have issues all over the field. The pieces aren't working for whatever reason. I'm hoping with the full offseason, Guillermo and Dennis and everybody there in the FO for the Galaxy will be able to get it together. There's a few guys that need to go.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want me to call them out now or we can call them out
Do
later.
what you do. Do what you do.
I
Who do you
mean,
think needs to go?
I'm sorry, Bingham. You're not a starting
Yeah.
keeper.
I agree.
You got to go. You're not. At least you are not a number one caliber keeper for the Galaxy.
No.
You can maybe go be a number one for FC Cincinnati or something,
Ooh.
but not for the Galaxy.
Ooh.
Uh,
Ooh. Hot fire.
Fletcher, Fulcher,
Felcher.
needs to go. Selvik needs to go.
Yep.
I mean, as we know, the defense needs revamping. I don't know what's going to happen with Stairs and what's going to happen with Romney. If they're in the doghouse, they're going to stay. I mean, the jury's kind of out with Gonzalez and Poletta as well. Gonzalez hasn't looked as good as I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
And then moving forward, it's just like, it might be time to call on Zlatan. I feel like the team's a little too dependent on him, and it's just like they need to be more dynamic, more than one-dimensional. So possibly he moves on, and then I don't know, like there's guys that like for me haven't really wowed me, like Joe Corona.
Yeah, dude.
I don't.
My god, dude. He has been
like he's
like
just
phenomenally like so under the radar in like the worst way.
Yeah, exactly. He's just there. And Johnny's been stellar, so I can't really complain about him. But yeah, it's just the pieces haven't worked, and hopefully with another offseason they'll get together. I feel like next year will be the final year for Guillermo if he can't get it together.
I would agree.
Because it looks like right now, as it sits, that the G's are out of the playoff spot, and I'm almost about ready to say they're not going to make the playoffs. I'm pretty much at the ledge.
Dude, I'm right there with you. It's really hard to say, but like it does feel like they're not going to make it. It feels like they're on that downward slide to the point where it's just not going to happen. They are continuing to just it's just so underwhelming every time I see them. Like I have this hope that we're going to somehow come out with a victory, and then we lose to the Rapids, and I'm just like, yeah, okay.
No, there's no way. By some minor miracle we get into the playoffs, we're not going far because you can't continually play like this through the course of a season and think in the playoffs you're just going to magically put it together and it's all going to click.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. So
no, I would agree with you. Before we wrap it up tonight, I just want to say I don't honestly even want to get super crazy into this. The United States men's national team just played 2 friendlies. I'm going to be short on this because it's so upsetting. I mean, look, we come away with a 1-1 draw against Uruguay. It was completely like no one. It just didn't even seem like anyone really cared. It was like a scrimmage, basically, to me. It didn't really even matter. 1-1, and we should have probably lost by a lot. I don't know, man.
We need to stop playing in baseball stadiums.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But on top of that, man, we get USA-Mexico again. Mexico wins 3-0. Just a complete annihilation.
Well, what is this? This is that whole... okay, so we lose 3-0 to Mexico, our arch rival, and then Mexico in turn loses to Argentina's B or C team 4-0.
4-0.
What does that say about us?
No, well, but here's the thing. Like, this is what we come back to when it comes to competition, though. Like, Mexico losing 4-0 to Argentina, quite frankly, doesn't really bother me that much because it's a friendly. You're against Argentina.
It bothers Mexicans, I'll tell you that.
Of course it bothers Mexicans. No one ever wants to lose. But what I'm saying, like, if I'm sitting back and I'm looking at the overarching time of the international break and you have a 1-1 draw, U.S. and Uruguay, who really cares? Like, do you really think that people down in Uruguay are, like, throwing up a hissy fit like it's the end of the world?
No,
Fuck no.
Probably not.
They don't care. They're probably just like, yeah, okay, it's a friendly. Like, seriously, that's how I would feel. Okay? U.S. coming away with a victory against Uruguay, the reason that I know I feel that way is because I also feel like, great, we drew with Uruguay 1-1, but who cares? Like, it's a friendly.
Well,
it's the opposite. Yeah, of course not. Now, you have Mexico destroying the United States, and that is always, that game personified, like, definite passion within playing soccer. Like, you could see these guys wanted to win. And Mexico blew the U.S. out of the water. So, like, that counts a lot more for me. Now, you have Mexico versus Argentina, and Argentina brings their, BC squad, right? Just whoever. Mexico comes in, they lose 4-0. You're definitely pissed if you're Mexico if you're losing that game. But, like, if I'm being objective about it, when I look at it, I'm just kind of like, whatever, it's a friendly. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't really matter as much.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like, I mean, some people don't even want to watch friendlies. It's just like, whatever. If there's not a competition going on, if it's not for something, I don't care. So in the grand scheme of things, I don't know. Does it matter? This is what I keep circling back to. CONCACAF is maybe third place in regions in around the world in federations. It's UEFA and it's CONMEBOL 1 and 2.
For sure.
After that, who knows? Could be Africa, could be Asia in third place. It's kind of a toss up with CONCACAF. The problem is Mexico is this region's dominant team.
Yeah,
it just is. They are the kings of CONCACAF. Mexico beats everybody in CONCACAF. They've been kings of CONCACAF for decades, and it's great. But when Mexico goes to play like the giants of the world, more times than not, they falter.
Correct.
And I don't know what that says. I mean, the U.S. has its issues. We're going through a lot of things right now, no doubt. But Mexico has their questions as well.
Yeah, no, you're right.
They have their own issues, and I don't know. I don't know what it says about CONCACAF and where it's going.
But does losing to Argentina in a friendly, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It holds a little bit of weight just because, like, it's Argentina, I guess. Like, it's a bigger name. But, like,
yeah, I mean, granted, if you flip it around and Mexico beats that Argentinian team 4-0,
who cares? No one would care. No one would care at all. Dude, even like Mexican fans wouldn't care, I don't think. On the other side, like if Mexico beat that Argentina team, they'd be like, okay, right?
I think only Mexicans are hurting. Mexican supporters are hurting because of who was on the field or who they had in the squad.
I hear that.
That talent level and who they were playing for Argentina. It's probably like who, so when they lose 4-0 to Argentina's reserve team or whatever, for them, it looks bad. It hurts. On the grand scheme of things, does it make a big impact? Probably not. But it's just those kind of things. If Mexico wants to take the next step themselves in the World Cup and possibly trying to win a World Cup, you've got to start beating, the top teams in the world.
Yeah.
Like in Argentina.
Right on. Well, sir, we are moving forward towards the MLS playoffs. We're getting right into the thick of the English Premier League's regular season as it stands. In the middle of the games that are coming up, it's going to be pretty exciting to see how things start shaping up towards the end. It seems like Liverpool and Manchester City have it held down in the middle of the pack. We'll see what happens, but you never know. And then, of course, Champions League coming up September 17th and 18th. That's going to be always amazing and wonderful. You have that, let's see, what was it? Barcelona, Dortmund, Real Madrid, PSG, Atletico Madrid, Juve, Liverpool, Napoli. These are all match day one, man. I mean, that's what you live for, man.
Exciting stuff, man. I don't know, the soccer never stops. It's the calendar flow over, cup run is full. It's just like, it's Premier League, it's MLS, it's international competition, it's the Champions League. There's just too much going on. It's too much.
Yep. Well, sir, as always, enjoy the games and don't hate.
Don't hate.